Guys, I really want y'all to listen to this story I'm gonna tell. This story's called One of the Great Ones. So, back in 1994, I was working with the police department in the Raleigh area. This guy I met, he worked security. And I'm gonna tell you like this, this guy was one of the greatest person I've ever met in my life. He was the type of guy that would make you laugh until you cry. I worked second shift with him for the police department. I was on second shift. Then I got promoted from sergeant to lieutenant, so they shot me down the first shift. So we was on opposite shifts of each other. Every day I would stay late enough to make sure when he came in, I had a laugh with this guy. And I'm telling you, he had this aura about him that people would be gravitated to him. That's the type of guy he was. And if you had a bad day, I promise you, you would never have another bad day around him. And I called him Smiley because he always was smiling. So once I got promoted to lieutenant, they put me down the first shift. So I worked from 7 to 3. And I remember seeing his family would bring him to work sometime. His wife, his kids, his grandkids would all come in a van, bring him to work. Sometimes he didn't drive himself. So, he would come to work, and I could tell he was a dedicated husband, a dedicated father, dedicated grandfather. And I could tell it from the way they all acted around him. So like I said, I would joke with him. Those people always joke with him all the time. Just to hear that laughter would get you, it make you feel good inside, just to hear him laugh. Well, it was on either a Thursday or a Friday. I'll never forget this. I can't tell you the specific day because it's been so long ago. I remember I got off work that day. I spoke to him and said, man, have a good day. It made me laugh. And so I left, went home. And went home, did the usual, hung out that day. I got home, showered, and went to bed. So approximately 11:30, 12 o'clock, got a phone call from my chief, White John. He said, Ricky, I need you to get fully dressed in your uniform and meet us on Newman Avenue at Wake Medical Hospital. I said, okay. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because they really didn't tell me anything on the phone. So I got there, I met with the captain and the chief. So they told me, hey man, Smiley had a heart attack on the way home, driving from work. The other department had contacted us to let him know. So he said, we got to go and tell the family. Knowing who I am, I'm a very emotional person, regardless. Anyway, I'm very emotional when it comes to certain things. Involves people very emotional. So imagine this. I want you to imagine this. Seeing 3 people in high brass coming to your house at night, at 12 o'clock at night, you knowing something ain't right, and you see all 3 of us there together. So the mom comes out holding one of the grandkids in her arms. She says, and I'm telling you, this broke me. She says, where's my husband? Ma'am, that's what we're here for. Something happened to your husband. Before we can get all the information out, she busted out crying. And here come my emotions. Here come Captain's emotions. Here come the chief emotions. So we all break down. And they teach us in the BLET that we should keep our emotions intact. Well, I'm going to say this. That can go to hell for us, I care. Because at the end of the day, we are 3 human beings. I'm sorry, we are 3 human beings. So it is what it is. So she goes inside. So we finally had to give her all the information. And let me tell you something. All those grandkids and kids started crying. My shirt was soaking wet. I was crying. They was crying. They was hugging on us. It took an emotional toll on all of us. As in the family, as in myself, as in my chief. It took an emotional toll on us. So as we said, hey, ma'am, pulling ourselves together, ma'am, you have to get to the hospital because you got to ID the body. You know what I'm saying? I thought maybe since we did a lot of crying at the house, it'll get a little bit better. I was wrong. I lied. It got worse. When she had to go down and ID her husband's body, this lady out was screaming. I've never heard before in my life. That almost knocked me to my knees in the hospital. I had to run out the hospital and fell on my knees outside in that parking lot. I cried. Damn baby, I'm sorry it happened, and I'm not ashamed of it. So trying to get myself together, I finally went home. So as we were trying to prepare for the funeral, which was the following Saturday, we had to get everything laid out, had to get everything arranged. So me and my partner, my best friend and I was practicing on getting the flag done. We were trying to get the flag right. Remember I practiced on this flag for 4 days. We could not get it right. For some reason or other, we had been trained in BLET how to actually fold the flag and show the star. Those days we just could not, for some reason we could not get it fucking right. We couldn't get it right. That last day, that Friday, if I'm not mistaken, we folded that flag to perfection. We made that flag look like a king straight from the military. Because once we got our thinking together, we remembered what we were trained how to do it. And we folded the 3 corners, stars up. So that Saturday, get to the funeral, small church, not a lot of people, but it was enough. It rained so hard that day you could barely see. That kind of told me at that point that God knew he has a good one coming to see him. He knew that. So we get in the church, we do what we need to do. We get to the gravesite, which is outside the door, a couple steps away, and we lay them to rest. In the process, we have to hand the mother the flag. Let me tell you something. When we handed the flag, my chief, myself, and the captain were standing there when the chief knelt down to hand the flag to her, and she started bawling. Let me tell you something, that the most precious thing I seen. We gave her that the best salute we have ever done. And family just all started crying because we was all in sync. We don't show her respect that we had for this gentleman. We respected him. We loved him. And he loved us back in return. So that, at the end of that, it was worth seeing, but it was worth making her happy and worth making the family happy. But I've always heard that saying, young people say now, he's him. Well, boys and girls, he was that guy. He was that him you talking about. He was that guy. He was one of the last great ones that I know. And I'm being honest from the bottom of my heart. He was one of the last great ones. If you ever met a man, time you put your eyes on just makes you laugh, he was him. And I know he's up in heaven right now making God laugh right now. We can't laugh no more. Guys, please pass this podcast on. This right here is really dearly close to my heart. I love you guys. Thank you for just paying attention to and just listening to me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.